Let me ask you something. What do you do with those pesky hands of yours when you're presenting?
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
It'd be good just to hold them down by your side. Yeah, great.
With what was going on. And at the end of the day, you gotta be happy.
Well, it's one of the most common questions that we get in our presentation training. Nobody really seems to know what to do, or more importantly, what not to do with their hands. So today, we are gonna set the record straight so you know exactly how to use those gangly appendages of yours. My name's Robert Graham. I'm the founder of Comm, and we've been helping people become the best speakers around for 20 years, hands down. We all know that nonverbal communication conveys a lot. In fact, most research shows that your nonverbal conveys way more than your verbal. So, what should you do with your hands when presenting? Well, before we get to that, why don't we talk about what you shouldn't do? Years ago, there was a guy named Chuck in one of our presentation trainings, and every time he got up to speak, he put his hands like this. And then he'd talk about the healthcare vertical that he was following as a financial analyst. And finally I said, Chuck, what is with the hands? Well, it turns out Chuck was a black belt in karate.
With your hands up, ready to defend yourself.
Not Chuck Norris. And when he felt threatened, he instinctively had to protect his ribs. So we all had to promise Chuck that we were not gonna kick him in the ribs, because he'd kill us. And finally, he was able to let his guard down. Here's some other things that don't play well. Crossed arms comes across as defensive or aggressive or closed. Pointing, also aggressive. On your hips, intimidating. T-Rex, I don't know why, but we see this all the time. The fig leaf, Chip. Or anything distracting like playing with your ring or cracking your knuckles or playing with a pen. Here's another one we see all the time is misusing the remote. I mean, we see people pointing these things at the screen as if there's a sensor on the screen itself. Just be invisible with the remote. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Robert, what about the pockets? I know speakers who literally sew their pockets shut to prevent putting their hands in them. Look, sometimes it's helpful to have one hand in a pocket for a brief period. But take out all the keys and the wallet and the phone, and as a general rule, just stay away from the pockets.
You ever wonder what this pocket's for?
And now for what you should do. First of all, be descriptive. Let your hands help people know and feel the meaning and the emotion of what you're saying. You can show size, pros and cons, timelines. You can number 5 and less. Use open palms, help you build trust. Keep your wrists straight, gesture from the shoulders. If you're behind a lectern, definitely use your hands to gesture. When you're not gesturing, just use what we call the neutral posture, resting your arms by your side. It may feel a little odd, but it's open, confident, and approachable, and it keeps you from doing anything distracting. So now you know exactly what to do and what not to do with your hands when presenting. And like everything else that we talk about on these videos and in our trainings, it takes practice. We'd love to read your own best practices on gestures and body language in the comments section. And please share this video with everyone you know who wants to be a better speaker. And if you like this, subscribe and you'll have the next one as soon as it's done. And like everything else we talk about on these videos and in our trainings, it takes practice. Oh. It takes practice. It takes practice.